Hello and welcome to The Morning After from Engadget. I'm Matt Smith. This week we're talking about Apple's new high-end iPad Pro that is incredibly thin and incredibly expensive. Google also revealed and surprised us all with the Pixel 8a ahead of its I/O conference. That probably means at the conference itself it's going to be an awful lot of AI and not so much hardware. Ooh. We're also talking about Peloton's post-pandemic plummet. More on the indoor bike company that went downhill fast. Right, should we get into it? I think we should, so let's do it. This week kicked off with an early iPad event. Apple shook things up by slotting in its brand new M4 chip into its highest end tablet. That is an incredible amount of power. Apple even says it delivers 50% faster performance than the M2 iPad Pro. It supports dynamic caching, hardware-accelerated ray tracing, and even hardware-accelerated mesh shading. You don't really have to know what those things do, just rest assured that everything looks even prettier than it did before. Now, the other major upgrade is Tandem OLED, which is a display of two OLED panels on top of each other. This means even brighter stuff, like brightness levels closer to the iPhones that we use every day. The new iPad Pros should reach brightness levels at around 1000 nits for standard viewing and up to 1600 nits for HDR's brightest spots. That new technology also makes for a thinner iPad. In fact, the iPad Pro of this year is thinner than any other iPad that's come before it. In fact, it's pretty much thinner than anything Apple's made in decades. The new iPad Pro is actually thinner than the iPod Nano, if you remember that. However, the iPod Nano did have a headphone jack. The new iPad Pro starts at $999 for the 11-inch model and $1,299 for the 13-inch version. It wasn't the only hardware revealed this week, though. Do the swishy graphic one more time, please, Brandon. Now, Google usually breaks out its Pixel A series phones during Google I/O, its big industry and developer showcase. However, it's come early this year. Yes, the cheaper spin-off phone, also known as my annual go-to recommendation for anyone who asks me which smartphone they should buy if they're looking to buy an Android phone and also a cheap phone, has the same cameras as the 7a, but thanks to a more powerful chip in the 8a, you'll get some advanced AI features like Magic Editor and Best Take. Now, if we're comparing it to the standard Pixel 8, that has a 6.2-inch screen, while this new 8a has only a 6.1-inch screen. However, they have amped up the refresh rate to 120 Hz. The best spec, however, as always with the A series, is the price tag, $499. It's set to go on sale next week on May 14th. Now, Peloton had a great pandemic, which is a very weird thing to say. The company's premium exercise equipment, which expanded from bikes to treadmills and even weight training technology, were the hot workout from home products. That boom even made some people, not normal, sensible people, suggest we were never going to go back to bricks and mortar gyms. But we went back. Now, Peloton's latest financial statements include a 15% cut to its workforce, which has already been reduced over the years, as well as more showrooms being shuttered and yet another brand new CEO. Its shares have gone from its peak of $156 in 2021 to less than $3 at the moment. Alongside everyone returning to their gyms, the company also had to contend with supply issues, safety issues that plagued several of its products, and it also killed off Mr. Big. If you know who Mr. Big is. I do. Nintendo has pretty much declared war on illegal emulators this year. 2 months ago, Nintendo filed a lawsuit against the creators of a Yuzu Switch emulator, the creators of which finally settled for $2.4 million. However, Nintendo is really digging its heels in. And it seems like it's just getting started. Nintendo sent a DMCA notice over to GitHub for over 8,000 repositories hosting code from that Yuzu emulator. Yes, from the lovable games company that gave us Mario, Kirby, and all the rest, its legal team, ironically, does not play. On to the next. Now, I don't know why either, but a new Lord of the Rings film is coming. I don't know why either, but following the iffy Amazon series that didn't really take off and some terrible games, Warner Brothers has announced that 2 new movies are in the works. I don't know why yet again, but the first, The Hunt for Gollum, will hit theaters in 2026 and will be directed by Andy Serkis, who obviously gave life to Gollum in the original movie trilogy. He will apparently be reprising that role as well. And that was the morning after for this week. Thanks once again for watching. We'll be back next week, but before then, make sure to check out our full reportage from Google I/O, which kicks off in a few days. Make sure to check out all of our reports and our hands-on impressions over at Engadget.com. Thanks once again for watching, and I hope to see you next week.